The afternoon sun beat down on Balogun Market as Buki checked her phone for the third time. She had a party that evening and her hair was still undone. Every salon she'd called was either fully booked or charging outrageous prices. 5,000 naira for cornrows? In this economy, she muttered, scrolling through her contacts. Buki was a 22-year-old mass communication student at the University of Lagos, known across campus for her impeccable style. Her friends always joked that she could make a Ghana must-go bag look like a designer purse. Today, she wore a simple white crop top and high-waisted jeans. Her natural hair pulled back in a messy bun that needed urgent attention. That's when her coursemate, Chioma, sent her a message. Try Lola's place in Balogun. She's cheap and very fast. My cousin used her last week. Buki hesitated. Balogun Market was notorious for being crowded and chaotic, but desperate times called for desperate measures. She grabbed her bag and headed out. 40 minutes later, Buki stood in front of a small salon squeezed between a phone accessory shop and a fabric store. The sign above read, Lola's Touch, where beauty meets speed. The place looked ordinary enough. Clean, a few mirrors, 2 salon chairs, gospel music playing softly from a small speaker. Good afternoon. A woman emerged from behind a curtain at the back. This was Lola, the owner. She looked about 30, with a round face, warm smile, and her own hair styled in neat box braids. She wore a purple salon cape over her clothes. I want to make cornrows. How much? Buki said. 2,000 naira, Lola replied sweetly. Buki blinked. 2,000 naira for full cornrows? Yes, my dear. I like to help students. Plus, I'm very fast. You'll be done in 1 hour maximum. 1 hour? Buki knew cornrows took at least 4 to 5 hours. But the price was too good to pass up, and she really needed to get ready for that party. Okay, let's do it.
Lola gestured to the salon chair. Sit down, relax. Do you want water? Soft drink? No, I'm fine. As Buki settled into the chair, Lola moved behind her and began sectioning her hair. Her fingers moved quickly, expertly. Buki pulled out her phone to scroll through Instagram while she waited for the hours to drag by. But something strange started happening. As Lola worked on one section of her hair at the back, Buki felt pulling and braiding sensations on the sides of her head, then the front, then multiple spots all at once. She frowned. Auntie Lola, are you plaiting different parts at the same time? Lola laughed. No now. I told you I'm fast. That's why they call me Lola's Touch. Buki tried to turn her head to look in the mirror, but Lola gently held her in place. Don't move, dear. You'll scatter the parting. 10 minutes passed, then 20. Buki kept feeling it, the distinct sensation of multiple hands working on her head simultaneously. She could feel fingers braiding near her left ear, while other fingers worked at the crown of her head. It was impossible for one person to do this. Auntie, I'm serious. It feels like plenty hands are touching my hair. Buki, relax. You're just not used to someone who's good at their job. Lola's voice remained cheerful, but there was something else underneath it now. Something that made Buki's stomach tighten. She glanced down at the floor. In the mirror's reflection, she tried to count the hands she could see working on her hair. 1 pair at the back, another pair on the left, another on the right, and 1 more at the front. That was 8 hands. Buki's breath caught in her throat. She tried to jump up, but her body felt heavy, glued to the chair. Sit still, Lola said, and this time her voice was different, firmer, not unkind, but commanding. You'll spoil my work. Buki wanted to scream, but fear had stolen her voice. The hands kept moving, braiding, pulling, working with inhuman speed and coordination. She squeezed her eyes shut, her heart pounding so hard she thought it might burst. It's done. Buki's eyes flew open. She looked at her phone. Exactly 1 hour had passed. Her entire head was neatly cornrowed in an intricate pattern that should have taken any human stylist at least 5 hours. Lola handed her a mirror. Check it. Very fine, Abi. The braids were perfect. Too perfect. Every line was precise. Every plait identical in size and tension. That's 2,000 naira, Buki stammered, fumbling for her bag. She practically threw the money at Lula and rushed out of the salon, not caring about her change, not looking back.
Inside life. Back in her hostel room at Moremi Hall, Buki sat on her bed shaking. Her roommates, Halima and Jessica, gathered around her. Buki, what happened? You look like you saw a ghost, Halima asked, sitting beside her. The words stumbled out. The cheap price, the impossible speed, the feeling of multiple hands, the 8 hands she'd seen in the mirror. Maybe you are just tired, Jessica suggested, though she didn't sound convinced. Or the angle of the mirror made you see things twice? No, Buki insisted. I felt it. I know what I felt. That woman is not normal. Halima pulled out her phone. What's the name of the salon? Lola's Touch, in Balogo Market. Halima typed quickly. Then her face went pale. Buki, look at this. She showed them a Facebook post from 3 months ago. Please be careful of cheap salons in Balogo Market. My sister went to one and came back acting strange. When we took her to church, the pastor said she'd encountered spiritual hairdressers who use jazz to walk fast. Be warned. The comment section was filled with similar stories. I experienced this too. I thought I was going crazy. My aunt stopped going to Balogun after her hair started falling out mysteriously. Some of these people use shortcuts that are not of God. Jessica stood up decisively. We need to go back there tomorrow. We need to expose this woman before she does this to someone else.
The next morning, Buki, Halima, Jessica, and 3 other concerned students from their hostel made their way to Balogun Market. They'd planned to film the salon, ask questions, and post everything online to warn others. The market was already bustling with activity. Traders shouting prices, customers bargaining, the smell of suya and fried plantains mixing in the humid air. It's this way, Buki, said Buki, leading them down the familiar path. But as soon as they turned into the alley where Lola's salon was located, something shifted. The sounds of the market seemed to fade, becoming muffled and distant, as if they'd stepped into another dimension. Buki stopped walking. She looked around, confused. Buki, Halima touched her arm. Are you okay? Buki stared at her blankly. Who are you? What? Buki, it's me, Halima, your roommate. I don't know you. Buki's voice was flat, emotionless. Her eyes seemed to look through them rather than at them. Jessica grabbed her other arm. Buki, this isn't funny. We came here together. We're here to find Lola's salon, remember? Lola? Buki repeated the name like it was foreign. I don't know any Lola. Why am I here? Where am I? Panic seized the group. Halima pulled out her phone to call someone, anyone, but Buki suddenly turned and started walking back toward the main road, moving like a sleepwalker. They followed her, calling her name, but she didn't respond. She walked straight through the market, past their hostel, and sat down under a tree on campus, staring at nothing. For the next 6 hours, Buki couldn't remember anything. Not her name, not where she lived, not her friend standing right in front of her. She just sat there, unreachable, as if someone had erased the last 24 hours. As evening settled in, the news had spread across the university campus like wildfire. Students gathered in groups, whispering about the girl who went to Balogun Market and lost her memory. Some said it was jazz. Others said it was a warning. A few claimed it was just stress or a medical condition. Buki's memory returned suddenly,
just as mysteriously as it had disappeared. She blinked, looked around at the crowd of concerned faces, and asked, "Why is everyone looking at me?" But she couldn't remember anything about the salon, about Lola, or about going to Balogun Market that second time. The only proof was the cornrows still perfectly intact on her head. Within a week, something unprecedented happened in Balogun Market. More than 10 hairstylists didn't show up for work. Their stores remained closed, padlocked, abandoned. Lola's touch was among them, its sign taken down, the space empty. Some traders whispered that the stylist had fled after hearing about Buki's story. Others said they'd been warned by market elders to stop using shortcuts in their work. A few claimed the stylist had been there all along but had become invisible, still working on customers who didn't ask too many questions. Nobody knew for certain. But one thing was clear. After Buki's experience, students from Unilag stopped going to Balogun Market for their hair. They'd rather pay extra, wait longer, or even travel farther than risk encountering hands they couldn't see. 3 months later, Buki finally worked up the courage to cut off the cornrows. She'd kept them far longer than normal, too afraid to touch them herself, too afraid of what might happen if she went back to any salon. She did it herself in her hostel bathroom with Jessica and Halima standing guard outside. As each braid fell to the floor, she felt lighter, freer, as if she was cutting away not just hair, but the invisible threads that still connected her to that strange afternoon. That night, she posted a simple warning on her Instagram story. If a price seems too good to be true, it probably is. Protect yourself. Some debts can't be paid with money. The post got over 500 shares in 3 hours. To this day, Lola's Touch has never reopened. The space has been taken over by a phone repair shop. But sometimes, late at night when the market is closed and empty, traders passing by swear they can hear the faint sound of hair being combed, of scissors snipping, of quiet humming that sounds like it's coming from multiple voices at once. And in hostel rooms across Lagos, young women still share Buki's story as a warning, a reminder that in a city where everyone is hustling and everyone wants things done fast and cheap, some shortcuts lead to places you can never come back from. Some hands that touch you leave marks that never fade. And some prices are paid in ways you never expected. The end. Thanks for watching. Please come back for life-changing stories.